and Waller excused. Item 8.
There are no matters called up.
Item 9.
Proclamation remembering the Korean War. Peggy Littleton, Commissioner, Board of County Commissioners.
Okay, I'd like to have those that are here for our Korean War proclamation come on down to the front. So, while I read this into the record. Proclamation remembering the Korean War. Whereas this year marks the 68th anniversary of the beginning of the Korean War, which commenced on June 25th, 1950. And whereas during this 3-year conflict, more than 180,000 American, South Korean, and United Nations forces lost their lives defending the Republic of Korea. And whereas the sacrifices of these forces showed the resolve of the United States and the United Nations to stand by their South Korean allies despite the cost of human loss and hardship. And whereas the armistice signed on July 27th in 1953 brought this war to an uneasy truce that continues to this day. And whereas President Harry Truman committed American forces to the fight, calling it a police action, and did not seek a declaration of war. And whereas the official use of the terms like police action and Korean conflict may have resulted in the Korean War becoming what many historians now refer to as the Forgotten War. And whereas the hard-fought battles and heroic sacrifices of so many American military service members who were called to defend our way of life on those faraway battlefields should never be forgotten. Now, therefore, the Board of El Paso County Commissioners hereby proclaims its gratitude and appreciation for all who fought in the Korean War and honors the many Korean War veterans who returned from the fields of combat, who built businesses, who raised their families, and continue to make their homes in El Paso County. Done this 17th day of July 2018 at Colorado Springs, Colorado. The Board of County Commissioners of El Paso County, Colorado, Darrell Glenn, President, Mark Waller, President Pro Tem, Stan Vanderwerf, Lojinos Gonzalez, and Peggy Littleton, members, attested to by Chuck Broerman, Clerk and Recorder.
I'll second.
Would you like to go ahead and speak to the resolution this morning?
Well, we appreciate that what the El Paso County Commissioners do every year for us with this proclamation, and we specifically are happy that you are coming out on our ceremony on Saturday to present this and read this proclamation, which will go out over Channel 12 or 23. I'm not sure, but
can you tell us so that everybody knows the details of where to be and what time for Saturday?
Yeah, the Monument Park. Does everybody know where Monument Park is? The problem that you're going to have is there's construction down there.
Is it Monument or Memorial Park?
I think it's Memorial Park.
Okay.
But they're doing construction on Pikes Peak down there. And so it's tricky. You can go off on Martin Luther King and get off at, what's that road that runs down there?
Union?
Union, yeah, and come back up. Or you can turn right at the construction and turn left after the Fireman's Monument and wind your way into the ceremony.
And that's at 10 a.m. this Saturday at Memorial Park.
10 a.m. Saturday at Memorial Park, correct.
Okay. Well, this is a really special resolution. This is my last year to get to do the proclamation for the Korean War. My father was a Korean War veteran, and I thank him for his service, like I thank you and all those who also fought and defended our country during the Korean, what we don't call the Korean War, but the, thank you guys for your service, where you came back and you built businesses and you worked and you raised families, and I'm a product of that.
We're losing a lot. I was a teenager when I was in Korea, and we have a number of funerals every year.
Yeah.
So, you know, and we're not unlike the rest of the country. And all the states have monuments, and there was a Korean lady who was a staff member of Senator, I can't think of his name. but she's traveled around the whole country putting flowers on every monument. And so that's been something on. Oh, Wrangell. She was a staff member of Wrangell, and she's gone around driving around to every state in the union to put flowers on that, which is really a nice thing. But I was just a teenager when I was there, so and I served. We did close air support, and I served with John Glenn and Ted Williams.
How about that?
So that was a lot of fun, actually. So, but it wasn't a nice place for sure. But we appreciate your remembering us every year.
Yes.
Because there's still a lot of us around. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your service.
Well said.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I would
Bill?
also, sir, I would also like to thank you for your service and all of the other veterans that served in the Korean War. You know, I also served in Vietnam much later than the Korean War, 2003 to 2005, and I was active duty. When I traveled around Korea and when I was in uniform and I would go downtown somewhere to buy lunch, I could not pay for it. The Koreans would not let me pay for those lunches. So here we are, decades and decades later, and you all not only sacrificed your lives in defense of a worthy cause, you were ambassadors of the United States to the Korean people, and you created a friendship with a society that I think is ironclad and irrefutable. And in fact, as I got to know the Korean people more, I found out that the Koreans don't really identify with the Japanese, and they don't really identify with the Chinese. And at least in part, it's because the Japanese and Chinese invaded Korea 700 times in the last 2,000 years. Who they identify with is us.
And they come out every year and set up a tent and provide food for
They do.
everybody who comes out to our ceremony. They don't forget. As a matter of fact, on the 27th of this month, some Korean high-level people are going to be in Colorado Springs giving out medals to certain individuals in our chapter. So they're very active with us.
It's amazing. So thank you for serving, but also thank you for being such a fantastic set of ambassadors in the country. They know we served and died along with them in protecting their country, and they are eternally grateful, and I got to see it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and they certainly did. You're exactly right. Thank you.
Well said. Any other comments? All right, don't go too far because we are going to approve this, and then we want to make sure we get a nice photo with you. All right, I will call the roll. Commissioner Littleton.
Aye.
Commissioner Vanderwerf.
Aye.
President Fossey. That passes unanimously with Commissioners Gonzalez and Waller excused. We will now stand in recess and take a photo.